Can I shake your hand, please?
Sure.
I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, God bless you. God loves you too. Thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a question. Do you want to get shot?
No, I'm gonna get shot. No.
This is Lexington,
Yeah.
and you're about to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need views, but this specific idea that you have brought up, I understand everyone has their own beliefs, but when you wound up shot, I told you so.
Well, if someone shoots me for preaching the gospel, then God will be glorified, and I'll be with Him face to face.
Bro, it's always the damn tortas! Who let this refrigerator talk? The duality of liberals. She should be arrested for threatening violence. Internet, do your thing. Find out where she works so she can join the rest of her torta friends.
Meanwhile,
I was just fired from my job.
So I've lost my job. I got called into the office yesterday, and told me that they could either fire me or I could put a resignation in, but that would look better. But they fired me, or they're getting rid of me because of my TikTok. Somebody screenshot a lot of my TikToks.
I know many of you aren't ready for this, but if I put a gun on the table, it's not going to kill somebody. And if I put a knife on the table, it's not going to kill somebody. If I put crack cocaine on the table, it's not going to snort itself. And if a drunk individual chooses to get behind the wheel and kill somebody, the car doesn't go to jail, the human being does. So when did we decide as a society that no one is ever going to be held accountable for their actions? The gun didn't pull the trigger itself. A sick-minded individual behind it did so. And a human being made those choices. The gun didn't. The knife didn't grow legs to stab somebody on the train either, so.
Sorry, liberals. You just can't shoot at us and then demand gun control. That's equivalent to me saying, I eat with a fork, and the fork made me fat. You know, we are now living in times where intelligent people are being silenced, so stupid people won't get offended.
Republican state House members have been targeting a state employee because they disagree with a Facebook post of hers. Most prominently, House Minority Leader Puglisi has been publicly lobbying for the employee to be fired, and she did so by amplifying a post from a far-right account, Libs of TikTok, whose operator has posed while laughing with a news article about how her posts lead to harassment and death threats. After the horrific violence of the last few days, us elected officials should not be singling out employees for exercising their free speech, and especially not amplifying an online harassment campaign that puts those targeted at risks of violence. This kind of behavior leads to people getting hurt. The minority leader and her Republican colleagues are stoking chaos when all of us should be trying to quell this increasingly dangerous political climate.
So you're telling me that this torta is working in an area to prevent people from deleting themselves, but yet she is celebrating murder. Bro, please make that make sense. Jasmine needs to be fired, but there's still no word. So internet, I need you guys to do her thing. Here's her contact information. Now internet, work your magic. Now, after the Charlie Kirk incident, it was a breaking point for many. That's why a lot of people are leaving the Democratic Party.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, dog. Hey, Democrats, man, y'all cooked, bro. I'm talking about, man, I be looking at my news feeds, man. I posted that shit about black and white conservatives coming together. Man, I had Asians coming in that thing. Latinos coming in that thing. I even think I seen like an Armenian American. Blur, listen, man. Cooked. Y'all cooked. Extra crispy. No batter. Y'all might want to just start all the way over. Like, just go ahead and sit out for these little 20 years. Let the people get back, back where they want to be. and forget that y'all snakes, and then y'all try to sneak back in. But as of right now, the Latino community, Asian community, black community, white community, fucking Armenian community. Dog, I done had Filipino Americans in my inbox telling me they with it too. It's over.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
What I do know for sure is that, you know, Charlie was someone who once said, you know, guns save lives after a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country by saying Juneteenth should never exist. And I think, you know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so.
But she expressed her condolences. Sorry, a 15-second PR statement does not negate them dancing on Charlie's grave. Ilhan Omar is the perfect example of why we need immigration moratorium in America. Now, guys, look at this masterpiece. Call me Picasso. How did I do on this bumbleclut?
He needs some milk.
Here I am standing outside of the anti-American Ilhan Omar's office. Tomorrow we will file a privileged motion to censure her and to strip her of her committee assignments. She is inciting violence against conservatives in the wake of Charlie Kirk's political assassination. She is dehumanizing conservatives all across the country, calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. We have been villainized and dehumanized far too long. The Democrats set the standard for stripping people of their committee assignments. I'm not going to be silent on this because enough is enough. I'm tired of your performative BS that is putting lives in danger. You can take your Sharia-loving, anti-American self back to Somalia.
It's been 5 days since Charlie uttered any hate speech. That's right. As always, I hope everybody had an awesome day today, except for MAGA. Hope y'all's day was a disaster. Ciao.
If you believe people deserve to get shot for their opinions, then don't cry when you get fired for yours. Because damn it, McDonald's is hiring. And if you need a lawyer, talk to this guy.
Amount of calls that we have received, I think it's not that many, but it's about 6 now, calls that we received from individuals who are specifically saying, I want to make sure I get this right, I have been terminated, I have been put on suspension by my job for things that I have said on my private social media account. First of all, I want you to think about those things. Private, social media, they do not go hand in hand together. But a lot of comments that we're getting specifically about the unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk. Why do I say unfortunate? Because I don't care who you are as a human being, you should not root for another human being's life to be taken, whether you agree with their political views. I'm old enough to remember the whole phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I think we have forgotten that as a society. And if we get to the point where we're simply to the point that if somebody says something that we think they deserve to die, there's a bit of me that actually believes that Mr. Kirk, whether I agree or disagree with his views, the fact that he was willing to engage in a logical debate, and by the way, that is what we do as attorneys, that if we have different views with our opposing sides, it's basically an intellectual debate. You should not lose your life for engaging into intellectual debate with anybody. And there's a bit of me that believes that I don't know if he actually believes half of the shit that he was actually saying, because, you know, some of it is just rage baiting to get encouragement. By that same definition, are we going to start saying that we have a problem with Leonardo DiCaprio for playing a racist in a movie even though he was acting? Anyway, what is ending up happening are people are forgetting about the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. They're saying, hey, Mr. Kent, I have freedom of speech. I should be allowed to say anything I want at work on my private social media account. Again, no such thing. Stop saying this is private. One, it's not private because you're posting it. Social, by definition, social in media. Come on. But what I encourage people when I tell them is your employer, especially in South Carolina is a right to work state. What does that mean? That means your employer can say, you know what, get the fuck out of here. We're not going to listen to this discourse. You cannot post this stuff on the page. Some individuals have come to us and basically, let's say they're a teacher. They're a teacher and they are saying that, you know what, my school district has suspended me because I said, Charlie Kirk, he deserves to die. You teaching our kids? Or you work for an elected official and you want to put political things on your post and your elected official says, nah, bro, you don't work here. South Carolina is a right to work state. Number two, when we talk about freedom of speech, you have the right to say whatever the hell you want, but people tend to forget you can say what you want. Our government is not going to arrest you for saying what you want. We're not going to kill you for saying what you want. However, your employer has the right to terminate you. They are two different things. People get confused on freedom of speech and freedom of consequences. There are consequences to our actions. So when we get those calls and people ask us, can I file a lawsuit because my employer terminated me because of the stuff that I put on my private social media account? At least in South Carolina, my response is they can terminate you for anything they want to. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when employers contact me and say, how should I terminate an employee? I say, don't give them a damn reason. You work at sometimes as the sheriff say, you work at the will and the discretion of the sheriff. Don't give them a damn reason. There's a famous quote from a pretty prolific philosopher, old Dave Chappelle. You know, everybody wants to give an opinion and he had something that was pretty great to say. He says, you could shut the fuck up.
There is a certain level of poetic justice that this has happened to someone who has, dare I say, cheered on as children have been torn apart by these exact same bullets. Gun violence against conservatives may be the only thing that will finally get them to flip the switch. If there is any good that can come out of today, that has to be it. Hopefully, some conservatives will realize that we have a gun problem in America.
Wow. She's a registered nurse. Now, do you really want a political activist working on you if it's a life or death situation? Multiple scorpion tattoos are just what I would expect from a compassionate nurse.
It's been an absolutely horrible week. And I feel bad. I feel bad for that man's wife and the children. I do. But I don't think people understand how seeing so many people venerate a person who would say the things that this man said about Black people, seeing them put him on a pedestal and seeing people get fired because they simply said, I'm not celebrating it, but I'm not going to give it my focus because they felt like he offended them. They don't understand how that makes people that look like me feel. We did not grow up during a time when people could be so open about their hate towards us. So seeing this now is just, it's unsettling. And then you have NFL teams that are holding moments of silence for this person. But what about other people who have died in this country that didn't make their name off of disguising hatred as the word of God? It's scary. It is. I have never been more scared to be a Black woman or the mother to a Black son in my life.
The leftists are screaming, Charlie Kirk was a racist. Well, excuse me, my bad. This is just a picture of Charlie Kirk with him and his best friend. Now, anybody who has ever watched Charlie Kirk's video knows for a fact that he was not a racist.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Back in 2019, Charlie Kirk helped a lot of young Blacks get to the White House. He changed a lot of their lives. A lot of them never imagined going to the White House, and Charlie helped hundreds of young Black boys and girls go to the White House. Charlie, thank you for that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, man.
So for people who want to call Charlie a racist, kiss my Black ass, excuse my language. Charlie Kirk is not a racist.
I love this guy. I'll tell you. And, by the way, I have some New York Times reporters for you to talk to.
I'll talk to them.
No, yeah.
Now, to all the YouTubers out there with a platform, we need to share all these good stories about Charlie Kirk because so many lies are being told.
How are you? What a beautiful kid that is.
Thank you.
What a gift
so
from God.
Much.
Yeah.
She truly is. She is the biggest blessing. Something that kind of has me like on the fence of whether or not I go kind of like full blown more like conservative or moderate is just seeing how high.
Give it up. That is a gift from the Lord, everybody. That is just beautiful.
I see that, we're starting to save a lot of money from things such as like Doge, but do you think that some of that money should go back to maybe like reforming the way that welfare is done to help poor families who do want to kind of pursue that American dream?
Great question. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. The Democrat Party does not talk about dads at all. The Republican Party, we are talking about how men need to be men again, in the home, take responsibility, provide for your family, and with strong families comes smaller government and a better country.
Now, to the people on the left, let's be honest. As much as you can despise Charlie Kirk, you have to admit, doesn't he seem nicer than what people say? People forget that this man was a husband and a father. A hero truly gone too soon. You see, Charlie Kirk might be gone, but his message lives with us forever. Because a wise man once said, you can kill the messenger, but you can't kill the message.
Y'all brain is scrambled eggs and mashed potatoes, fool. There's no way y'all believe this man was truly racist. How is somebody racist for saying that you should be judged of the content of your character, not the color of your skin? Like MLK did. You remember what MLK said? Like what, bro? He wanted you to have merit. He let us know that there was nothing holding us back from doing whatever the white man could. Like, bro, I literally do not see how y'all feel like there's something in America that the white man can do that y'all can't do. You can do anything in this world that you want to do, bro. Don't let your fucking people tell you that you can't, bro. All you need to do is have hard work, dedication, and some grit, bro. That's all you need to be successful in this world, bro. Discipline, respect, be good to people, bro. You'll be good, bro. I promise you, bro. There are absolutely zero laws in place preventing a black man from doing anything that a white man could. If you can find one, please pull one up and send one to my DM. I am begging you, bro. Pull up one single law that says black people can't do this, but white people can. Please, I offer you $1,000 right this second, right now. I would love to pull this card. So, if I die on a plane and seen a black pilot, I'll be concerned and I'll be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When black pilots are 2% of the pilots in the United States of America, fuck, I'll be concerned too. Especially under Joe Biden's administration where he was pushing DEI everywhere, yo. When you go get heart surgery, like Charlie said, bro, in memories of Charlie, bro, if you go get heart surgery, you're not going to say, I hope the doctor is black. No, you're going to say, I hope they put the most qualified person to cut my heart open. Are y'all dumb, bro? Are y'all good? Sorry, bro, but the nerve of my people, bro, the people that look like me, bro, y'all make us all look like idiots. Make us all look like fucking idiots, bro. Like, when are we gonna stop screaming white man bad and look in the mirror, bro? When are we gonna stop blaming white people for everything negative that goes on in our life? Like, we don't have we're not our own people. Like, we don't have our own community, bro. The black community, the black culture is toxic, bro. That shit is piss poor. I don't want to be a part of that shit, bro. I'm an American. I'm a human being. Fuck the color of my skin. I don't care. Y'all so worried about skin color, ready to pull the race card, bro. And that's why we're still stuck in past, bro. We're stuck in the past and we can't move forward as a people because y'all don't want to let go of the white man bad. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
This is an intelligent young man who actually listened to Charlie Kirk instead of believing all the media lies that was told about him. This actually gives me hope for the future.
I was so wrong about Charlie Kirk that I'm embarrassed and ashamed now. It's not, oh, we need to be decent even to people like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a decent person. People attribute 3 main positions to him that justify shooting him in the neck for, and they are really taken out of context. And the context does not make it perfect, but let me tell you what the context is and you decide if it's still worth shooting him in the neck over it. The 3 positions are his quote about empathy, him saying the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, and then him saying a certain amount of unaliving is worth it to keep Amendment Numero Dos. He said empathy is a new age term, and it's done a lot of damage. I prefer the term sympathy. That is the cadence of the original quote. It's actually really dishonest to cut it off where people have been cutting it off. Now, the way I define it, empathy is a higher order version of sympathy. Instead of how would you feel in their shoes, it's how would you feel if you were them in their shoes. So empathy isn't some new age term, it's a reflection of society evolving. But not being able to see that is not a capital offense, not even close. Anybody who's given you this quote for that purpose is not someone you can trust. Now, the civil rights one was crazy when I heard that. And the implication is obviously that he doesn't think black people deserve rights. Would I want to pew someone in the neck over that? It starts to get blurry because it's not just words, right? He's influential. Don't project stupid positions onto me, okay? Political violence is not off the table. Words are not just words. But here are some more of his words. He explicitly said the intention of the Civil Rights Act was good. His position was that other initiatives like DEI were attached to the Civil Rights Act, which was written too open-ended, and so the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. This is wrong for a lot of reasons. I'll just go with the simple one. At the time that the Civil Rights Act was passed, you couldn't pass a law saying, hey, just don't be racist, and then everything would work out fine. You had to put a lot of protections in. So this is clickbait, this is insincere, it's a trashy way to get more views. But it is not the same thing as saying black people don't deserve rights. I'm generally pro-DEI. I don't think you should be shot in the neck for being against DEI. And finally, he said a certain amount of unaliving is worth it to keep Amendment Numero Dos. He basically compared it to cars. Don't project stupid viewpoints onto me just because I'm defending a dead man. We have to register our cars, you have to have a license to have a car, and cars are a lot more integral to modern society than a bang-bang stick. But he also did go on to say that we should put armed guards at schools. Again, that's a little bit ridiculous, but still, that's quite different from condoning these crimes. I would say this one's not a big mischaracterization. The people like sharing this quote and discussions about his death, I think that's fair game. It doesn't upset me. I believe that, he wasn't empathetic or sympathetic in any meaningful way to the victims of these crimes. And I'm not conceding that point because I'm not Charlie Kirk's best friend. I just didn't like how mischaracterized he had gotten, and I was shocked by what I found online. Also, I'm going to make a separate post about his position on transgenderism. But these things are squarely in the realm of things you can disagree about. He did not fall under the paradox of tolerance at all. And the people using that terminology to say that he didn't deserve tolerance, you are the problem. You are the people that history warned us about.
Charlie Kirk didn't use hate speech. They hated him for his speech. You see, a liberal is somebody who wants you to think like them. A conservative is somebody who just wants you to think.
The fight I have been having with the left, while I'm, of course, the irony, as a lot of people in my position, is still a liberal, just a traditional liberal, won't go along with their, like a lot of the stuff that's just crazy out there too far, which gets Trump elected, blah, blah, blah. As I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Took me a second. Sorry, I had to absorb that.
Okay. They're the people who don't want to talk. It's my main issue with them. And Charlie Kirk was a guy who, he was always talking. And I talked to him here. The right-wingers say what you want about them, but they talk to you. They're not into this leftist thing. The left really has much more of I don't talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. You're deplorable. I can't break bread with you.
Yeah.
That attitude, and all the right-wingers, they don't have that attitude. No, again, I didn't vote for them. And Charlie Kirk and I certainly don't agree on much politically. But he sat here. He's a human being. He's not a monster.
And a husband and a father.
Yes. And I liked him. I liked them all. They're all nice people when you meet them in person. And they're not as crazy as they would. Nobody's as crazy as they make them out to be.
Bill Maher is just trying to stay relevant, but cannot bring himself to admit that the conservatives are the traditional liberals today. He describes it, but cannot openly admit it. It's just a fact. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.